I don't know how to interpret 2 Samuel 21. Sometimes a teacher of the Bible must admit that about one section of Scripture or another. We can do all the work, translate, read the commentaries, read the studies, and sometimes there are still nagging questions, and we don't feel comfortable with any particular interpretation. Now, what's happening in this story is that there's a famine on the land. God tells David it's because of blood guilt. Saul and his house had shed the blood of the Gibeonites, a people group that ancient Israel had a treaty with from back in Joshua's day. And so David approaches the Gibeonites and says, well, what can be done? And they say, well, Saul said, our blood, give us 7 sons of Saul. David does. And these men are executed. Eventually, their bones are gathered together with Saul and some others and buried, and then the famine is ended. Now, on the surface, this story is simply repugnant. It violates the Torah. Deuteronomy 24:16 says, children shall not be put to death because of their fathers. That's exactly what happened. And yet, at the same time, the famine was lifted. So how do you interpret this story? Well, I've read the various explanations, read the various commentaries, and yet none of them are completely satisfactory to me. And so what shall we do? Well, first of all, we admit up front that we don't necessarily know how to interpret this. And we continue then to study, to learn, to grow, and hopefully eventually God will bring some clarity to it. It's like that with this for me. It's like that with other sections of Scripture. I'm sure it's like that with you as well. And that's why we continue to be humble and honest students of the Word.